In a state where basketball is king. They've won their first professional basketball championship since 1973. What a moment for Harvey Catchings, watching Tamika get a championship, and she's with Holly now.
Well, Tamika, this has been a long time coming. How difficult was this for you tonight to close it out?
Oh, man. I thank God first and foremost. This is awesome. Oh. Yeah, I mean, we came out second half, last 20 minutes. We knew we had to go get it, and we took it.
You know, the ability to draft Tamika, even though she was hurt, but knowing what kind of player she was at Tennessee, and you were hoping what kind of player she'd be in the WNBA.
It starts with building blocks, and obviously Tamika was a building block, and I knew after we went to the playoffs for the first time in 2002 that she was going to be a cornerstone piece.
I'm really excited. One of the things that I've been saying for the past couple of weeks is that instead of getting Rookie of the Year, I'd rather be in the playoffs. And here we are, first game of the playoffs and getting Rookie of the Year. So I can't ask for anything else for today.
Now Richardson, and there's a steal. Tamika. Catching out the pass. Setting it up, and Catchings is not missed. And New York advances.
You know, sometimes the expectation is that you're going to jump from college or from high school to college and then college to the pros and immediately win. The journey has definitely been, especially early on, a challenging one.
You take some baby steps as you're moving forward in the process, and you're getting close, but you always had somebody in the way.
Final possession. That'll do it. For the second time in 3 years, the Phoenix Mercury are the champs of the WNBA. Heartbreak for Katie Douglas, Tammy Sutton-Brown, Tamika Catchings, and the city of Indianapolis.
2009 really gave us the first glimpse of we deserve to be a championship team. We have finally made it. We finally put the right pieces together. We finally put the right players together. We figured out ways to play together.
Kelly and I both thought if we just kept tinkering a little bit with this team, then we're going to get back there, and the next time we get there, we're going to win the championship.
We showed up to work every day, and I think that prepared us.
To finally sort of break the barrier, break the glass, and win an Eastern Conference title and get to the WNBA Finals, I think that really set the table for what was to come.
How does my hair look?
Great.
I curled it myself, so you know how that goes. I think every single year you come into Media Day, and the question every year is this going to be the year? And if you're a competitor like I am, every single year you say, yes, this will be the year.
And the Fever have started 2012 with a win. Great body control by Sutton-Brown. They try to make it 4-0.
And I remember that year we put in so much work as a team, and we did the extra reps. We wanted to try to be perfect in an imperfect game.
By the way, that was an Olympic year. So we had the Olympics in the middle of all that.
You know, this is Ketch going for her third gold medal, and, you know, I'm going for my second. So we all just try to come together and represent our country strong.
In London, where Team USA women begin the drive for 5, an unprecedented 5 straight gold medals.
I mean, 2 totally different time zones, totally different, and it was just more about mentality, more about focus. There was just a difference by representing your country on the USA team and then coming back.
While she was gone, during that period of time, we had tremendous practices.
I was in London, and I called back and talked to Coach Dunn, and I was like, you know, how's practice going? And she was like, you know, it's coming together. Like, we're starting to gel a little bit.
I think one of the most underrated things, though, about that season was our practice squad. We had an amazing practice squad. Like, we had so many guys come in. We had 2 and 3 teams of 5 that were willing to make us better.
And I think we got better every day.
2012, when I came back, you could tell the team was different.
She saw, oh my gosh, this is not the team that I left 3 weeks ago.
Whatever they did while I was gone, whatever they did while we were away with the Olympic, when we came back, it was like everybody's level was like we were all operating at a different level. We were all at the top of our game. And you started to see the pieces come together.
Indiana, for a second time, will win 22 games in a WNBA season, and they'll head to the playoffs on a 2-game win streak.
With the bitter taste of last year's conference finals elimination still with them, Indiana was poised to return the favor.
Going in and playing against Atlanta, we know what kind of team they are. They're going to get on the boards, crash the boards, and of course, Angel McCoughtry.
Nobody can stop aggressiveness. That's just one thing you can't stop in a game.
What a shot by McCoughtry, and that's Angel at her best.
Angel McCoughtry can take over a game offensively.
He's one of those players that I put at the top of my personal list as far as individual one-on-one matchups.
I expected us to win. But one thing about the playoffs is you take every single game, one game at a time.
And while the scheme to slow Angel McCoughtry worked as planned, it did nothing to contain Atlanta's Lindsey Harding.
Nice spin move by Harding. Atlanta demonstrating they're not a one-horse team.
Game 1, they just came out and just took it right at us.
Some frustration out there for the Fever.
The catch hasn't scored for 14 minutes.
And there's nothing Indiana can do to stop the dream.
I definitely was playing well leading up to that, and then just for whatever reason, I could not string it together.
Great effort by Atlanta, a new career high, playoff high that is for Harding.
We've got to regroup and we've got to bring our A game, and I think we can go up there and steal a ball game.
I'm walking back down the ramp. Every car is gone, everybody's gone. There's one car sitting there, and it's Tamika sitting in her car. She's just sitting in her car like this, and I walked up to her window and I was like, "What are you doing?" And she just looked at me and she was like, "Well, I was getting treatment and I just couldn't leave." And that struck me because she had this look like I was like, "Oh boy, here we go."
I don't remember that, but you know, it's interesting. There's a lot of things I don't remember that my teammates do. I kind of go in my own little zone sometimes.
Tamika was just one of those players who was always able to will teams to do things that people didn't think that we were capable of. And she just did, and that mentality, permeated this franchise.
The Dream are trying to get to their 3rd straight Eastern Conference final. Indiana has lost 3 straight to Atlanta in the postseason.
Game 2 with the Dream seemed like a recurring nightmare for the Fever, and their championship aspirations appear to be slipping away.
The team is looking at me and how I respond. And if I respond and go irate and get crazy, then they will as well.
Tamika would rise up.
Last shot opportunity for Indiana. Catchings for 3. That would be big, and it is. January, that's nice. You think she took it personal that Lindsey Harding was able to get 23 in game 1?
Those players that kind of like come in clutch in those moments of importance, you have a sense of security.
Catchings was relentless, finishing with 25 points to take the series back home.
This is even, it's 1-1. It doesn't matter where you play. We're both going to go there. It's going to be a war.
No one had a greater drive to win than her. No one. I've never seen one player. I still don't know of one.
Downtown Indianapolis, it's the 3rd and final game of this Eastern Conference semifinal series.
After the Dream had held Indiana's Katie Douglas to just 16 points in the first 2 games of the series, she erupted for 10 in the first quarter of the deciding contest.
And pass stolen by Douglas. Off and running, 2-on-1. Douglas lays it in.
Katie Douglas won the Atlanta series.
Indianapolis native who, hoped to take the next step and bring a championship to her hometown.
I had to have a talk with myself. You cannot go into one of these, slumps, funks, whatever you want to call it.
It is a 10-point first quarter for Douglas.
Totally different mindset. It's her mental approach to playing Atlanta.
Playing with a renewed confidence, Katie Douglas delivered a scorching performance from the perimeter, which was complemented by a dominating attack on the interior by Erlana Larkins.
It's hard to play a team 3 times, in a row. So you're constantly making tweaks, constantly making adjustments, trying to exploit whatever schemes they're running.
And Lindon and the Fever in front of this raucous crowd advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. They'll play Connecticut on Friday night.
Don't be so quick to walk away.
Dance with me, I wanna. Hey Fever fans, this is Breon January of your Indiana Fever. Come join my teammates. Sorry.
From day one, I was lucky enough to come into this organization and be welcomed by the fans and to have amazing vets like Tully, Catch, Tammy, Dougie, and just learn and continue to learn and get better. And man, I've been blessed to be part of this group, which was one of the best teams, the best team I've ever been a part of.
Bree was the head of the snake.
Tremendous defender, black belt in karate, floor leader, tenacious, relentless competitor.
Breon brought that energy on the defensive end, had that command finally.
And she comes out, her defense, people, even to this day, people hate playing against Breon January.
And she's so annoying, like as a defender, because she gets all in you, which is the utmost of compliments. She could get into their heads.
She blocked it, got her own rebound, and now Taylor catches and is tripped and knocked to the floor by Breon January, who is clutching.
Well, I think anytime you have an injury like she has, you have an enormous amount of time to fill because you can't play the game. And I think what Bree did was study the game.
I've never been around a player who comes back from an ACL injury and jumps higher. And Bree did that.
I attribute my confidence that I have right now just to the work I put in.
From a rookie year all the way to 2012, just night and day of who she was as a player.
There's always a lot of noise outside, and everybody showed up to work every day to get better.
Tonight at Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut, the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun look to do battle.
They won the regular season, I guess, head-to-head playoff 3-1, and every time we turn around, that's all people kept talking about. Oh, Connecticut beat them 3-1 this year, and this and that, and so people didn't expect us to beat them.
We knew what they were working with. Tina Charles gets named MVP. She's playing some of the best basketball.
The best player in the WNBA?
This year, yes.
I just approach the game with the mindset that I just want to dominate, that I just want to go out there and just play hard.
Tina Charles would score 10 points in the third quarter to break open a close contest.
That game 3 in Atlanta kind of got my mojo back, if you will, and was able to kind of continue that into game 1 and game 2. And felt really, really confident in how I was playing.
And now looking to attack, not just the three-point shot. Job of keeping an eye on where January is.
We need to make them work on defense.
But it was Connecticut who would work their way to a game 1 victory.
Well, when you have somebody like Tamika Catchings, you always feel pretty good about what you have. And then, you know, you had Katie Douglas. Tammy Sutton Brown was a veteran who provided great leadership in the locker room. And then, you know, you had a couple of young guards in Aaron Phillips and Breon January. And then you had the player that I had watched from afar was Shavante Zealous.
Indiana welcomed me, and I'm very happy here, and I'm just blessed to be here.
Anything else you want to tell me about yourself that you think is important for fans to know?
I'm pretty, and I like to smile and have fun.
Shavante Zealous. Goofball.
High energy, relentless defender, worked on her game all the time. Lots of fun. You know, you always want to be around Zealous because she's always laughing and having fun.
She just added dimension to this team that they really didn't have before, and I think was a key factor in this team's run to the championship.
Do you remember the last time we played them here? We came out with enormous energy, intense effort. We pushed the ball, we threw it ahead, we ran to the rim. We defended at a very high level, and that's exactly what we've got to do tonight.
The reigning WNBA MVP gets the Sun on the board. Here's Kara Lawson behind it. Tina Charles screen for 3. 11-0 the Sun out of the gates.
Now, it's the Indiana Fever. They have stepped up to match the intensity.
Catchings an open 3. Douglas with 2 on a shot clock and game clock, and the driving layup will count and a foul. 5 on the shot clock. Lawson pulls the trigger, what a shot. Douglas driving. The Fever have taken the lead for the first time. Jones, 1 on the game clock, gets it off in time. Katie Douglas beats the buzzer.
Well, I think for us, we just had to calm down. You know, we came out, we were so energized, and we thought we were going to get everything right off the bat. But see the score right now, but we can't give up now. We can't stop.
I think it started with just having Catch and like her mentality, and it's like, man, if she can come out here and do all of this, I mean, scrapping, diving for balls. If she can do this, why can't we do it?
We just played with such amazing heart.
2 on the shot clock. January gets it off and makes it. January. Phillips has an open 3. Lawson a 3. Kara Lawson has had ice water in her veins.
And they were more intense than we were, and then we kind of got back on our track here, and now it's going to be dog-eat-dog down the stretch.
Montgomery with 1 on the shot clock. Lawson on Davenport. She takes it and makes it again.
As long as we can position ourselves to stay close, our grit and our toughness and our competitiveness and our resilience would be able to position us to give ourselves an opportunity to win ball games.
Hightower driving on Larkins, and she's got it.
Hold on Larkins. Larkins swatted at it.
Intensity, focus, commitment, confidence, everything went to another level.
Pushed to the brink of elimination, the most dramatic moment in Fever franchise history unfolded.
Catchings has it.
I look up, I see Bree kind of like behind the defense, and I'm like, okay, I know I can get it. I'm falling down, but I'm like, just one extra push.
And once I saw someone have it, I took off. Just top speed. I don't know. I don't know how fast I was, but I was going.
Get it to Bree, I see Bree go up, and like, I blink my eyes, and in that blink,
definitely overshot that land.
Next thing I know one of my eyes was like, what is going on? You know, everybody's scrambling.
The ball came off the rim, so I'm scrambling, I'm jumping, and somehow the ball gets tipped out to Bree. She didn't give up on the play.
Almost out of bounds. Kicks it back to Shavonte Zealous. And Z hit that shot. Free throw line extended on the left side.
That was just a big play. Zealous hitting that shot. It sends chills.
Zealous.
One dribble, pull up, bottom of the net game. This is great.
It's just like, man, it's like that's clutch right there.
The game's not over until that buzzer goes off, and Lynn has told us that throughout the whole season. You know, we have to play to the buzzer, and as a player, I couldn't have lived with myself knowing that I wasn't going to fight back after making a mistake like that. You know, you can't just sit there and pout in the moment when you can go out there and correct it. So I went out there and I fought for that ball, and luckily Shavonte pulled it out for me.
I mean, that's how Bree played. Zealous, Z, always ready to knock down big shots. And that was probably one of the biggest shots of her career.
We are headed back to Connecticut for game 3.
That's the moment. Sacrifice, commitment, dedication, the thing that you do for your teammates.
You know, we still had to go to Connecticut and beat them on their home court. But when she hit that shot, I thought, you know, we just might win a championship.
Teams know each other so well, know one another's plays. They want to get early offense.
Midway through the opening quarter of the decisive Game 3, Indiana was dealt a crippling blow.
Going into Game 3, I was feeling good. I was feeling bouncy, and I do not remember much, but I definitely remember that going up and coming down on somebody's foot.
Katie Douglas is on the floor.
I heard it. I felt it. I remember looking at Tamika. She could see the look in my eyes, and I could see the look in her eyes, how concerned. And I just told her, I was like, this is not good.
I'm like, Katie, you're fine. Just shake it off, get up, let's go, come on.
Just telling him to tape it. Just tape my ankle. I'm getting back out there. This is Game 3. I've got to get back out there and to tape it. And, he's looking at me, and he's, saying, Katie, I can't tape it. I can't.
Going back to the huddle, I remember getting in everybody's face like, look, when one person goes down, we all step up.
And that's just what they did as the Fever executed flawlessly as a unit.
And Indiana continues to be red hot from outside the three-point line.
Probably the best defensive team I've ever played with or ever seen on the court. That helps when you have Tamika Catchings.
Poland, the three-point threat is 3 for 3. Indiana wins it 87-71.
We played that game for Katie for sure.
I think when I hired Lynn Dunn as a head coach in 2008, You talk about, somebody who was chomping at the bit to win a title as well.
Didn't accept anything but hard work. Like, if you didn't do it, you can go. And she always made jokes about, if you don't want to do this, you go work at Burger King or McDonald's and flip burgers. So,
Douglas, that's just crap. I mean, what were you thinking, Katie?
Man, practice, yeah, like getting it, on us every single day.
She'd call me over and say, hey, we need you to play a little defense. Well, that necessarily wasn't my strength.
She's super competitive. She is hard on you. She wants to push you and challenge you to be the best that you can be. And as a player, you don't always get that. And coming back as a coach and coaching alongside of her, I could just see the different levels of that she was trying to push me to and our players to.
So I'm just thrilled to win. And I'm tired of hearing that you can't ever do this in the third game, or you've never done this, you've never done that. So now we've done it.
Everybody's been talking about a repeat since we won last year. Twitter fans, Facebook fans, Minnesota fans, everywhere we go, it's a repeat.
He spots Maya inside, touch pass to Simone. There's the Olympic trio. The defending champs, there's too much firepower. Wow, that was an impressive move by Simone Augustus. Jones her pass inside, picked off by Maya Moore. Maya's off to the races, and nobody's going to catch her. The lay-in good over the front iron.
The Lynx have once again established themselves as the team to beat, led by Lindsay Whalen, second-year sensation Maya Moore, and the 2011 WNBA Finals MVP, Simone Augustus.
Augustus free off the screen. She hits it.
You're playing Minnesota, who is obviously a terrific team and one of the best teams in the league. There's no question.
Nobody thinks we're gonna win. Everybody's predicting that Minnesota will win it in 3. They didn't even give us a chance.
During the regular season, it was late in the year, they had a back-to-back, a home and home with Minnesota, who was the defending champs. And it was a 2-point loss in one of the games, and I think a 5 or 6 point loss in the other. And I think it told them that they could compete with the champs. I think sometimes you need to have that head-to-head matchup to know what you can accomplish. It gave them a sense of confidence that if they met Minnesota in the finals, that they could compete and win the championship.
I think we only had like 8 players, and at the time, Minnie was stacked. So it was like, how are we about to do this? But I think as a collective group, it was like, hey, one man go down, it's another man's opportunity.
Tonight, the 2012 WNBA Finals tip off here in downtown Minneapolis. And the Indiana Fever in this postseason, they faced elimination 4 times. They've won all 4 games.
For us, when we were scouting Minnesota, with them having a weapon at each and every position, it's like, well, we're gonna do this to Lindsay, we're gonna do this to Simone. We gotta try to stop Maya. How you gonna do that? Like, it was so much that you had to put into play.
We went in there just back against the wall, like, okay, this is the first game. Nobody expected us to be here. Nobody believes that we can win this. So all we need to do is just go out there and have fun and play basketball the way we know how to play.
Going to Minnesota game 1 and just completely taking them out of everything.
We were communicating, we were just taking it to them.
Oh! It's stopped by Larkins!
Game 1 of the WNBA Finals goes to the Indiana Fever.
Series is not over. Just best of 5, so we got to stay focused.
The Indiana Fever look for a second straight win over the defending champ Lynx.
We know we won that first game because we defended at a very high level. They've taken a punch. Okay, they're going to come back with the punch.
Tamika hesitates, drives hard to the right bucket, and the foul. That'll do it here in the first. The Lynx down early.
The next 20 minutes, it will turn our way. There's no doubt about that, especially on the defensive side. We just got to keep playing.
They don't have an answer for Simone Augustus at that end right now.
She's working hard. She's fired up.
Simone's got you one-on-one up there at the top. Everybody pitch in and make her shoot over you.
We allowed her to get some clean open looks, and in a game like that, when they're down 1, they're coming back with all they have. She has the ability to take over a game, and she did.
And we're headed to Indianapolis.
We didn't step up to the plate when we needed to. When we should have rallied and we should have came closer together, it's kind of like we fell apart a little bit. And we can't afford to do that now with the defending champ.
We knew it was going to be tough coming in here, and to take one away is great. I think we've positioned ourselves well heading back home. It's going to be a war, and we'll be ready.
Tonight, a standing room only crowd is at Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis for Game 3 as the Fever host the Lynx.
When the franchise started, people were so excited to have the WNBA in Indianapolis. And then, you know, it grew with success, but you wanted that championship. And I really believe that the fans helped fuel that, because when the Fever came back, tied 1-1 with Minnesota, they did not want to go back to Minneapolis because they knew what had happened in 2009.
110% effort all the time from everybody. And that will help us win this ball game.
Tamika Catchings and the word energy go hand in hand.
The Fever fans loving it here inside Bankers Life Fieldhouse.
We were just so focused and so into the game and into every possession, and we didn't even realize, you know, the score. We didn't care about the score.
Are we really 30 points ahead?
Game 3 goes to the Fever, and they're up 2-1 in this best-of-5 series.
We were one of those teams where it didn't have to be one person every night. We kind of just spread the love.
So much of it is about chemistry and everybody playing their role and all having that common goal.
I don't want to get too excited, so on Sunday, ooh. Oh, we'll talk about how I feel after that.
Tonight in Game 4, a win and the Indiana Fever will celebrate their first title in franchise history.
To see the newspapers, to see the TV stations, to see everybody talking about the Indiana Fever, I mean, that was just a special moment. And to walk in the building and sit there and see the fans unite behind the team, there was no way that they were going to go back to Minneapolis for a Game 5.
I mean, their heart and soul is in every pass, every possession, and they, along with our, you know, Tamika and that will, you talk about willing somebody to win, the energy, they were not going to let us get out of here without that win.
On the shot clock. Phillips pulls back, fade away, Shavonte Sellis tried to pick up where she left off in Game 3, and she does. Larkins fights for it down on the block against Brunson. That's a heck of a matchup. In the paint, turn around, pretty off the glass and in.
Just like the atmosphere, the environment, everybody cheering, just.
You know, to sit there in Game 4 and especially late to know what was going to happen was something that I'll always remember.
7-time All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year, year in, year out, MVP last year, but there's one thing missing.
And I looked up and I saw the score, and I don't even remember like the point spread that it was, but I'm like, we're gonna win this game.
Out with an injury, able to come back and at least experience what it's like to be on the court.
When she called my name, I don't even know what I thought. I was like, okay. Again, just to step foot on the court was a special moment, to be out there more so with my teammates.
The only thing I remember at the end of the game is throwing the ball up and just like, we did it.
Indiana has won the WNBA championship for the very first time.
I want to thank all the people that have supported me along this journey and supported us. Everybody wants to be around a champion, but let's be real. While that's the end goal and that's the end accomplishment, all of the commitment, all of the things that we've done along the journey, that's also part of it.
It's the way we won the championship more than, you know, the championship itself. The fact that we were down players, the fact that we were the underdogs, you know, all of that.
You just have to have really good players that are ready to contribute when their number's called.
We stuck with it and supported each other through everything.
Validated what this franchise was and is and can be.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I miss my teammates. A special group of people. There'll never be another 2012 team.